sponsored by Lucky Star Casino.
A permanent residence among the NBA's elite awaits the winner of this series. Along with Josh Calloway, I am Colby Daniels. Tonight it's Game 1 of the NBA Finals. History potentially for Oklahoma City or Indiana, as both of these franchises are looking to win their first NBA championship. Josh, it's been 8 days since the Thunder clinched the Western Conference Finals on this floor. Finally, the wait is over. Basketball will be played at the Pregame Center tonight.
Yeah, it feels like the end of the Western Conference Finals was forever ago. It's been a long wait, lots of talking, but the talking finally over. About time to get this thing rolling. You could feel the buzz starting to build the last couple of days here in Oklahoma City. The eyes of the sports world are on Oklahoma City and on the state of Oklahoma. It's really cool, and it's going to be an awesome environment here in just a little bit.
Yesterday was the final hurdle for these teams to get to Game 1 of the NBA Finals, NBA Finals Media Day. It was an absolute circus, right? I mean, outlets from all over the world covering the NBA's marquee event, and a giant focus, obviously, on the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are a massive favorite in this series.
Yeah, we talked about in the Western Conference Finals the amount of hoopla was around that series. This is times 10, obviously. Everything on this, a championship on the line for these two franchises. Like you said, Thunder, pretty solid favorites, but Indiana, we talked about it, the week leading in, obviously having a sensational postseason of their own, very solid series wins under their belt. So should be a fun series. Thunder definitely the favorite. They have home court, which is obviously a huge advantage as well. We'll see what happens, but I think we both think there's a very good chance that this is a very competitive and long series.
They're not only a massive favorite, they are a historic favorite.
Yeah.
Only 6 teams in NBA history have had bigger odds to win the NBA Finals than the Thunder. 2 others have shared plus 700, which is what the Thunder are. Among all of those teams, only one, the 2004 Lakers, lost the series to the Pistons. Everyone else has won in 6 or less games. So, I mean, history right now staring the Thunder right in the face, again, at a minus 700 to win this thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because, it's been a lot of talk about 2012 around here and the juxtaposition between the two teams. There's some similarities, the young and all that. But the big difference is that 2012 team was going against LeBron James. And, obviously in his prime, Dwayne Wade, another future Hall of Famer, Chris Bosh, and that whole Miami Heat aura, all that. It's a little different this time around. The Thunder, like to your point, are the heavy favorites. They're the team that's expected to come in and win it. So can these guys handle that? So far, they've handled everything, as well as you possibly could hope for. Mark Daigneault, SGA, this whole squad. But this is the next test. This stage, this amount of hoopla and media attention, you're expected to go win the finals. You've had a week to kind of sit on it. That's kind of the interesting part that we really won't know until the games start here coming up in just a little bit. They've done everything right so far, but this is that next hurdle, that final hurdle to get over that hump and win a championship.
These have clearly been the best 2 teams in the NBA since January 1st. They have the best records in the NBA since January 1st. It's pretty crazy when you look at the odds for the exact outcome of the series. Listen to this wild stat. The Thunder are actually more likely to sweep this series than Indiana is to win 2 games in the series.
That's
Let
nuts.
that sink in for a moment.
Yeah, that's nuts, and that just goes to show you the kind of year the Thunder have had. I think we all appreciate it because we've been watching it back since October, but you almost get numb to it, how dominant Oklahoma City has been over the course of the year, 68 wins, and obviously what they've done in this postseason, a historic point differential throughout this entire run. Outside of the Denver series, it's been a lot of blowouts, a lot of not competitive games, and obviously a very comfortable series win in the Western Conference Finals. But we agree. Indiana's really good. They're a team that if anyone could try to match Oklahoma City's depth, it would be Indiana. I think overlooking the Pacers would be a mistake, but the Thunder are a heavy favorite for a reason because they've had an unbelievable year and they've got the MVP leading them in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Not only a heavy favorite for the series, a heavy favorite for tonight, 9.5-point favorites. In the last 29 Game 1s of NBA Finals, the favorite has won 25 of those 29. So again, history would suggest the Thunder are in great shape for tonight's matchup. But look, there's a lot to find out about this Indiana team and how they're going to match up. I know there were 2 regular season matchups with these teams. As Mark Daigneault has said, the Thunder were not whole for those matchups. And again, those are regular season matchups where you're not necessarily game planning for your opponent as much as you're trying to work on your own things. I don't necessarily think we're going to see any mind-blowing adjustments in Game 1 of this series, but it is a tone setter in terms of trying to establish yourself, trying to insert your will into this series, and making the other team adjust going into Game 2.
Yeah, it is really interesting to kind of just get a little bit of a benchmark for how this is going to maybe play out. We've talked a lot about the fun matchups on paper, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso and these guys trying to limit Tyrese Halliburton, that Jalen Williams-Pascal Siakam matchup that we probably are going to get, the big men, Chet, Hartenstein, Miles Turner. There's a lot of fun matchups, but this is kind of that first step to kind of see how it's going to shake out actually on the floor. And obviously the coaches, Rick Carlisle, Mark Dagnall, the really good coaching matchup in this series, can start to kind of shift back and forth and move the chess pieces around. But this is the tone setter. The Thunder have been so good at home throughout these playoffs. One home loss, and it was that debacle against Denver. A lot of blowouts at home in these playoffs. Can they do that again and ride this home crowd? Because if Pacers can't win a game here, they're not going to win the series, obviously. That's obvious right. Statement is obvious, but that's a big tone setter for Oklahoma City in front of the home fans to try and get up on the right foot.
And this marquee matchup is the pace of the Pacers, right? Their ability to get up and down the floor, to score a lot of points. And the defense of the Thunder, a historic defense that is one of the greatest in NBA history. Jalen Williams at Media Day yesterday spoke about how they stopped this Pacers offense in their fast break.
They obviously play fast. That's their thing, and so you kind of got to tip your hat to them. The playoffs is just historically something that really slows down pace, so for them to be able to impose their will on that and obviously win the last 3 series they played doing how they want to do it, I think is really impressive. So that's what we've kind of like seen, and I don't think that's really like a big secret, but that's where they're unique.
They are unique. I mean, everybody knows what the secret is. It's a matter of stopping what they do best. And I like his point. I mean, generally things bog down in the postseason, right? The Pacers have been a unique team where they've been able to sustain throughout their 3 rounds.
Yeah, SGA talked about it. They're almost stubborn in the way that they like to play basketball, and it's hard to argue with what they've done. Obviously, you're winning every round. What would worry me if I were Indiana coming in, when you play that pace, you get a little loose with the ball. We've talked about it throughout. The Thunder can eat you alive if you force a lot of turnovers, if you give up a lot of turnovers, get out in transition and run. So Indiana's got to do their thing. It's a series for a reason, but that could be something they may have to adjust to if they're getting too loose with the ball and turning it over too much.
Around OKC, everybody is hoping for a thunderous start to this series. I know the weather right now is playing a big factor in terms of what the fans are experiencing entering Game 1. Let's check in with our own David Chazanov, who is over at Thunder in the Park. David, what's happening over there?
How symbolic is it for, before Game 1 of the NBA Finals? We got a thunderstorm on our hands. It is pouring right now. I'm going to give you a live look here at this rain. Listen to this. Just absolutely wild. Anyways, Oklahoma City Police tells me the moment they found out the Thunder were headed to the NBA Finals, they knew they had to step up their game. And they certainly took that to heart. I mean, just look behind me. The amount of police officers we have here around the arena. Authorities tell me no matter where you turn around Pregame Center, you should be able to see a police officer.
We're happy to see our Thunder in the finals, and we're pulling for them. But again, that raises the bar for us and what we have to do.
From Del City Police to the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, OKC Police Master Sergeant Gary Knight says authorities from several agencies will step in to offer security.
We're going to throw a lot of police officers at this just to make sure everybody's safe. We're not expecting anything bad to happen, but we want everybody to feel safe and secure while we're there.
Oklahoma County Sheriff Tommy Johnson III says his deputies will offer their presence wherever it's needed.
The entire world is going to be focused on Oklahoma City right now, and so our main goal is to bring in all the resources necessary.
OCSO says fans who are out and about need to stay vigilant.
Welcome to Thunder Up in the Park.
Keep your eyes up. Always be mindful of where you are at, because it is so important.
The sheriff adds people should travel in a group.
That is the one thing you can do to stay safe.
OCSO also advises against leaving valuables in your car.
Someone can take advantage of an opportunity with you being away, you being gone at the game, and break into your vehicle and possibly steal things.
Authorities say always keep your eyes out for anything and make sure to call 911 if you feel unsafe. Colby, Josh, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, David. Stay safe out there. Hopefully the only severe thunderstorm in the state tonight takes place inside the Pregame Center and not outside the Pregame Center. We were talking about this Thunder defense. I know that Oklahoma City has not necessarily been showered with love from the national media throughout this playoff run. It does kind of feel like people are starting to come around. There's no denying, though, that the defense of this Thunder team has been showered with national love.
it's unbelievable just how active they are defensively and just max effort all the time. It's just not something you get in the NBA on a night in, night out basis, even in the playoffs. And you've seen that from Oklahoma City. The way they can defend is really unmatched. And that matchup against Indiana's fast-paced offense, that's what you love if you're a basketball fan, right?
They were good in the regular season, but it's gone to another level this postseason. And I think a big reason for that is a guy that's already won an NBA championship, right? They bring in Alex Caruso this offseason, maybe the biggest puzzle piece to a team that needs that championship piece, and I think he's been all the difference, whether it's him making plays or just what he has done as the tone setter for that defensive unit.
I might have been not coasting a little, but I obviously don't play at this playoff level intensity through the regular season like nobody does. It's impossible to. But I think once I got onto the stage and I showed the guys, because I don't think I really showed them, this level of intensity and effort and, concentration on the details through the season. And I think once they saw that, they were able to kind of pick up on that. But a lot of that, too, is like, we talk about we're a really young team. But we're a really mature team for how young we are.
There you go. He says everybody else is bought in, right? It's a young team, and everybody's preached that all year long. This Thunder team, are they too young to win it all? They've all bought in, and Alex Caruso, again, I think has set the tone for this defense to get to the point it's at now. Before we take a timeout, I do got to tell you guys, we have Raymond Felton, former Thunder point guard, joining us on the End Zone tomorrow. He shared a text with me earlier that said the key to this series is Oklahoma City playing good team defense, pressuring the ball, and SGA continuing to be an aggressive scorer. So look for those keys tonight, and we'll find out if the former Thunder point guard is spot on. For Josh Calloway, I'm Colby Daniels. We'll take a quick timeout, and we're back in a moment from Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
My prediction, I'll tell you this, my prediction is Thunder in 6. I think the Thunder, I think their defense is so phenomenal with the Dortcher Chamber. I just absolutely love that dude, and can't say enough about him. He's probably my favorite.
From a gangly kid to the league MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has come a long way. I spoke with his former coach who first met SGA as a young teen. Dwayne Washington tells me he didn't have the physical strength back then, but very early on he recognized Shai's mental toughness. That toughness we'll likely see tonight.
Congratulations, you are the NBA MVP.
The NBA's most valuable player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, stands out. But it wasn't always that way growing up.
No, he wasn't a superstar. His feet were already fully grown to where they are now. And he was gangly, so the gross motor wasn't there. But he was very determined and very willing.
His former coach, Dwayne Washington, first met SGA when he was going into the 8th grade in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
He came out for one of our club tryouts for U Play Canada. And he was very tiny.
At what point did you kind of realize, hey, there's something different about this kid?
I realized he was different. The year I coached him was 11th grade, and it was before I sent him down to the States for prep school. And he was my point guard. And we have played older guys. There was Jamal Murray and Thon Maker. They both were NBA players. They were older than him by a year or two. And even though he was younger, he led our team at that level to a very close loss, and those guys were already all world.
To make it to the NBA, obviously you have to be at the top of the game. What sets him apart, though? What makes him that superstar player?
What sets him apart, I believe, is his ability to know what he is good at, because the time is limited. Some people work on 10 things, so they master none. He's able to master one, and then he's able to master 2. So I think it's a mindset and approach and goal setting.
As the point guard for the Oklahoma City Thunder, he's a long way from his formative years in Canada, where on the day SGA learned he was the season's league MVP, a gathering was held at his former school.
It's a huge inspiration, especially as a young kid coming out of Hamilton, seeing what he's doing. It's a huge inspiration for us.
This celebration for an accomplishment only one other Canadian, Steve Nash, has achieved.
You can only imagine and get excited about all the kids around the world, but in particular Canadians that will be affected so positively.
Steve, obviously, is a pioneer for Canadian basketball. His approach to the game, I learned so much from Steve, being a 17-year-old kid. The things he's done with Canada basketball in a whole and just push the culture forward has been amazing.
Washington credits SGA's family, community, and home country for making the star athlete who he is today, both on and off the court.
And it's not a stereotype. I think as Canadians go down to the States, being a much bigger country, you understand that they can take another American to do that job. So if you're taking that job, that means you have to be 10 times better, you know, given the population difference. Washington tells me that Shea has a goal of making it to the Hall of Fame one day. He actually still keeps in touch with SGA, and he still views him a little bit like a student who's still learning. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Brenna. Obviously, this is a legacy series for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Not that he hasn't already created an incredible legacy for himself, but he has an opportunity to join an elite group of NBA players if the Thunder win this series to win a scoring title, a regular season MVP, and an NBA championship in one season. Jordan did it 4 times, Shaq did it once, and Lou Alcindor, before the name change to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, did it. Shea could join that group of NBA all-time superstars with a Thunder Finals win.
He's been unbelievable, obviously, on the court, and it's been just so much fun to watch him. A perfect fit for this state and this city. Everything you could have wanted when they made that trade for him. I don't know if even Sam Presti could have foreseen how perfect Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is for this franchise in this state. It's been a lot of fun to watch him grow into the player he is.
And sometimes people question, can your regular season success translate to the playoffs? It absolutely has. His numbers across the board are very comparable. All right, we'll take a timeout. We're going to check outside the arena with Christina Santiago and give our series predictions on the other side of the break along with Josh Calloway. I'm Colby Daniels. More from Game 1 of the NBA Finals next.
Prediction for the 2025 NBA Finals.
On the finals, I'll say the Thunder in 5. Right? Say the Thunder in 5. It's going to be exciting.
We are just over 2 hours away from tip-off of Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and we are about 10 minutes away from the doors opening here at the Paycom Center. Right outside is Christina Santiago with eager Thunder fans ready to watch some Thunder playoff hoops.
Hi, Colby. So I am here with Justin and Travis, and you know how we were talking about the connectivity that the Thunder have on the court? Well, these guys became fast friends in the lines, and so tell me, this is your guys' first finals game, right?
It's my first finals game.
It's his first Thunder game at that.
So this is legendary for you. This is history in the making.
Right, so there's no better way to experience my first Thunder game than the finals, Game 1. I'm from around the Memphis area, but I grew up in Arkansas, so this is really cool for me.
And I have half-season tickets, so I come all the time. Chris Paul, the Hornets were all here. My dad started inviting me, and we came together, and it's been ever since. So.
I mean, right now, history in the making. What would it mean to you guys if the Thunder actually won it all?
I would definitely cry. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, tears of joy are coming out.
Okay.
Definitely running through the streets here and definitely crying. So.
Definitely, I will join in that parade. But back to you, Colby. Fans are eager to get in there, and I mean the line is packed, and it's also thunderstorming.
Thank you, Christina. Again, there's the announcement. Doors open in 5 minutes. So, guys, hold on. You'll be inside the arena very shortly. How about that for your first Thunder game, NBA Finals Game 1, first Finals appearance since 2012?
Could you even, appreciate it? Really? It's so insane. You don't have any frame of reference.
Yeah, so spoiled.
It's nuts.
All right, Josh, let's wrap things up. Series prediction, overall thoughts on what we're going to watch.
I think it's going to be a really competitive series, but I got Thunder in 5, and it's going to be a very competitive 5. That might sound like a disrespectful thing to the Pacers. I think they're a really good team. I'm expecting a lot of close games, but the home court's the X factor. The Thunder feel like they're borderline unbeatable in this place. I think they get the 2 here, they split in Indy, and then Oklahoma City finishes it in 11 days in Game 5 here at home.
I like where your head's at. I'm going Thunder in 5 as well, and like you, I do think that the early portion of the series is going to be competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a competitive game both nights in Oklahoma City.
For sure.
Games 1 and 2. I think there's a split in Indiana, but I think after a few games in this series, the Thunder's depth, their intensity on the defensive side of the ball starts to maybe wear down this Indiana team, much like we saw against Minnesota, and maybe games 4 and 5 in the closing stages of this series, you really see the Thunder put a stranglehold on their first NBA championship, and then fans are planning the parade route. So we'll see what happens tonight. Thunder are 9.5-point favorites for Game 1 tonight. For Josh Calloway, I am Colby Daniels. It's Game 1 at 7:30 tonight from the Paycom Center, and we will see you for postgame.